Happy Sunday. How was your weekend? Tell me something that happened to you over the week, during the course of the week. So happy Sunday. Good to be here. Good to see you. Wow. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hello TikTok. God bless you for joining. Thank you so much. I see you guys. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you everyone. Yeah, so we're just waiting for friends. Let's just be chit-chatting. What God did this week. What God did this week. Just having time this Sunday. Hello Tammy, happy Sunday. Thank you for joining. God bless you. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. This is the time to invite a friend to join. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Yeah, so it's been a fantastic week so far. It's been very busy, but very God has been faithful. We thank God for we had an event on Saturday where we just lower it a little bit there. So where we had people come on. Hello, Pastor Leslie. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. We missed you yesterday. We'll have the story to tell you. Don't worry. Happy Sunday, Mama. God bless you. Thank you. Say hello to everyone at home for me. Happy Sunday. Thank you, Mama. God bless you. So we're just sharing how the week went. It was a beautiful week with all the challenges and everything. But we give thanks. But today, especially while I was having some quiet time today, there's something about a familiar story that everybody knows. But when the story opens up to you, you start seeing a different angle to it. The way it was told will be beautiful, nicely, the tale was nice. And the lessons from it very obvious. But there's something, about talking about Christ when I come every Sunday that just narrows it for me to everyday life. Like, how can people relate to it now? The now is so blessed. There's so many challenges now. We're here now, and it's even easy for us to think about 10 years ago, 20 years ago, how we were raised, 20 years ago, how things were, 20 years ago when it was just Nitel and that telephone spiral thing that you have to drag. And we're still here between that time and now. And we can tell a whole lot has changed. We can tell different mindsets. We can tell different things have happened. Things that were not thinkable are happening in the now. So now you're beginning to think, man, so back in the days and now, the difference is so much. But yet, we're still living here. Yet, we still have to deal with having kids, having relatives, having siblings, cousins, and all of that. So you're bringing up children in a different era. So now the story that is so familiar will begin to make meaning to you in another light. Now, what's the story? It's the story about Joseph. So we all know that story. Even as a child, one of the first stories that we were told in the Bible. Oh, Joseph with his coat of many colors, his father loved him. And he was a dreamer boy, so he always tells his story. He tries to tell his brothers about his dreams, and he was abused for it. He was it was like, my friend, really shut up, who is going to come and be bowing to you? All those kind of things. A lot of things. His own siblings just felt threatened by the young boy. And at that age, he was about roughly 17 thereabouts. And just talking to your siblings, your elder brother, just telling them, oh, I had a dream, oh, I dreamt this. Another time you come, I dreamt that. And the boy's life was just in the early stages. And you just begin to see much older people actually showing jealousy like never before, actually showing resentment to their own siblings like never before. This story resonates with me differently, and I just felt in my spirit today that there's someone somewhere just cussing out. Someone somewhere is just busy, just feeling rejected and saying, why is my life so different? Why is my story different? Why am I feeling this way? Is there a God? doubting everything that you believe in, feeling so downcasted, feeling that, oh, I pray enough, I pay my tithe enough, I do this, I go to church, I make sure I'm in all the activities, and whenever I can, I do what I can. But yet, at this point, as of today, the person is feeling, this God matter tire me. It just feels different. It just hits different. And I had that feeling so loud that what that feeling did for me was to trigger something that's a bit familiar to me in a little way. If you know me, you know my story. It's a bit familiar in such a way that, you'll be feeling, at some point you're asking, why you? You're asking why you? I'm sure there's a lot of us out there asking, why does these things keep happening to me? Why is my story different? Why is it not happening for me like it's happening for everybody? Whatever the normal may be for somebody listening to this, people have different normalities. So whatever the norm may be for you, and you're just asking, why do I feel like mine is not going that right way? It's not going that normal way. I bring you the story of Joseph, a familiar story that you already know. Oh my God, please, we do not want to have network issues, please. Oh my Lord, help us, please. Network sometimes can be crazy. So you're beginning to wonder with that familiar story, you begin to see things like envy. You begin to see things like, oh, the love of a father and your other siblings are not very happy with the way that your father loves you in that special way. You even have siblings who also just think that you're a threat, so they want to get you out of the way. As far as selling you, if not for one that even rescued you, they even tried to kill you once. Said, no, let's not have this boy's blood in our hands. Let's sell him off. But there's something about that story that should resonate, even if your story is not like, oh, you're not Joseph. From there they sold you into slavery. From there you found yourself in prison. Even if that route is not your route, but right now you're in a broken place. In a place where you're feeling, where is God? In a place where you're feeling, why is this happening to me? In a place where you're asking yourself, why me? You know that why me question? That why me question. I don't know how many times we'll hear sermons and preaching. I think they're hearing from people who have actually been through why me. You're asking that question over and over. Why me? What did I do? Who did I offend? Why can't I be loved? What did I do? Why me? Why me? Don't ask again. If you're among those and you stumble into this video, or maybe you have a friend that stumbles into this video, this is the kind of video you want to watch because you're looking at someone who was first class. Why me? I cried for every reason. I cried for everything. I cried when I don't feel loved. I cried when it's siblings issue. I cried when it's not going right. I cried. I was blamed for everything. Even what I did not know, I was blamed for it. I cried. I cried for not even being supported to marry my husband. I cried. I cried for everything. But you know one thing about your whys? Your whys are a block to where you are going to that great building that you become, to that great monument you become. Your whys are taking you there. So if you're some people who are busy, you're in the category of why me, this video is for you. If you're in the category of feeling I am lost, I don't feel like I belong, this video is for you. If you're in the category of feeling you don't feel, it's for special people who don't feel loved, people who don't feel like it came in that natural way it should come, people who feel like, oh, why am I the one carrying my family on my head? Why did this honors fall on me? All those whys. If you're in the place of why, know that your why is taking you to your place of greatness. Oh, why is it this? Oh, it didn't happen like this for my parents. Oh, I remember growing up. Oh, everything is oh. You're asking why. You're doing, oh, why is this not happening for me? Why is this not happening for me? If you're finding yourself in the place of why, this video is for you. But let that why take you to the story of Joseph. That's why that story is important. He did not even see the why coming. He did not even have time to calculate why. He did not even see his why coming at all. He just found himself in a dungeon. He found himself in the prison. But the story will cap it up when you are able to find yourself and find this video later and now start saying, so where is my why taking me? When you now know that your why is for a reason, when you now know your why is like little blocks that are building up to take you to the heights, to the glorious place that God has in store for you. Maybe if you get a video like this, like I said, I talked about our time when there was no internet, when it was just Nitel and Dragon phone. So I keep telling my kids, my proteges, my mentees, that this era we are only concentrating on looking at the negativity of this era, but this era has so much goodness in it, because now you have people you don't even know that have told you their story online. There are a dozen and one of them that you can actually go and listen to their story and get motivated. There are people you can listen to their story and something inside of you will just click. There are people you can listen to their story and you just, this is me. It just resonates right there. You feel like this person has led your own life already and now there's a result. So you can actually mirror it and say, oh my God, look at this amazing testimony. So that's where that story of Joseph will finally land us. But I'm asking, who is that person today that I felt so much that it felt like over 100, the person is at 150 over 100, saying that, God, why me? Right now I hate my life. I don't know who I am. You're struggling. The message today is knowing where it's going to take you to. Just not giving up on it. The story of Joseph has a lot of stories of betrayal in it, slavery in it, and at the end of the day, we know where it came, where it finally ended up. But sometimes one of the things that I want you to think about is that in that pain, we are actually building the bricks to get into where God wants you to get to. It's like a journey. It's going to be something. I'm looking forward to, the CTC Summit next year, where you'll be seeing. Of course, we all know that a lot of people have stories of grace to grass, but now the times are so at their best, because I don't like to speak negative. So times are so at their best that you really need to hear someone who has come from zero level. When you hear zero, something that you might be able to resonate with and say, oh, those people's story, this one don't come make them now. This one she don't understand what to the talk for this era. Look at what happened, they scammed me. Look at what happened, this one happens. Oh, somebody is not trying to return from a disappointment. Somebody's trying to return from a betrayal. Somebody's trying to return from heartbreak. Somebody's trying to return from something so terrible having happened to them. But you'll be shocked to know that story will give you a place of honor. That story that you're thinking is the worst will be the story that someone will hear and lives will begin to change. I was part of a conference that happened 2 Saturdays ago. We're still not gotten over the kind of testimony we heard, and how people, just from that testimony, how people's life are beginning to change, how people's faith are beginning to rise just as a result of you sharing. So it's like, no matter what happens, you are going somewhere. In that pain, in that dismay, you're going somewhere. In that place where you're feeling abandoned, you're going somewhere. No matter what that betrayal is, no matter what that, what will I call it now? Disappointments. Because when you use betrayal, it tells us the one thing. You just feel like, oh, somebody did you wrong. Sometimes, not necessarily. Sometimes it could come from, that disappointment could come from a place of heartbreak. That disappointment could even come from a place of failure. Just you not feeling like you're meeting up what your goals are. You start feeling, thrown aback. But it's not cancellation to where you're going to. It's like a means to an end. So it's not cancellation. So while you're going through it, while you're weathering the storm, it's not a place at all. It's not a place of cancellation. It's not a place of cancellation. It's not a place that destiny has been determined because you're going through this phase now. It's like a bad weather. It doesn't get to rain. No matter how they say Tornado Katrina, whatever Katrina, one disastrous rain that came, it carried this, it raised the sea level, it did that. It doesn't last forever. Yes, it brings about this destruction and stuff at the end of the day, but it doesn't last forever. No matter how bad it is, it doesn't get to last forever. Nothing gives it that permission to last forever. So what you should be worried about is that in this season where I am, it's good for you to know that you're actually not in that season alone. No matter what that season may be, no matter what it is that you're going through, you're not alone on it. You'll be amazed to hear you know how they always say, there's worse. That's why sometimes when you're invited for conferences or opportunities where people are speaking, the idea of going to these things sometimes is mind change, basically. If you ask me, my own opinion is mostly mind change. You begin to hear things that ordinarily you just can't be in your house and hear. Something that will help you change your mind, something that will help you put yourself in perspective, put your thoughts in perspective, put yourself and say, oh, okay, if this person can come out of this is even worse than what I'm going through. You know, you're able to think things through in clarity because you've heard someone else's testimony. That's why it's always good to share if you can, you know, when you're led to actually share. So to know that God is in that time when you're going through that, you're not alone. No matter what it is, you're not alone. Now, we have that issue when Joseph was in Potiphar's house, his challenges that got him to the dungeon. Even when he was there, he met people, you know, just to think that he was there interpreting other people's dreams and, you know, was telling the king's, you know, the king's PA or whatever he was to the king, said, please, when you go out there, remember me, you've been here for 2 years, you were accused, you know, for what you didn't do. Now I've interpreted your dream. Remember me when you go there, when you start pouring the king's wine, just remember me, you know, because I didn't do this that I was accused of. But even in that season, God was with him. So even in that trouble that you're going through right now, in those issues that you're having right now, God is still there. He's there. I just think today's message is for someone especially because why do I say so? It's how I felt about the story, how I felt thinking about it. No matter how familiar I felt, I just felt there was someone who needed to hear this, you know, put this way. And sometimes, if it's a place of unforgiveness, let's assume that your battles are, whatever it is you're going through right now, is based on an area of unforgiveness, someone that really hurt you, you know, especially when it comes to heartbreak. Heartbreaks are really nasty. You know, they kind of, you know, tamper with your mental health. You know, anything that goes that far, that keeps you, you know, you're sad, you're depressed, you're thinking so much about your life, wondering why yours is different. Anything that puts you in that mood is something that has held you bound. Because now you're no longer yourself. You're no longer yourself. You're there thinking. You know, you wake up, you don't feel like getting out of bed. You're just thinking of this disappointment. Oh, what did I do? Why did he do this? Why am I finding myself here? You know, we're not going to go into talking about the kind of relationships. That will be for another day. The kind of relationship we should have so that you don't find yourselves in this kind of position. But maybe you're there right now. Maybe this is a turnaround for you. Maybe this is when you want to put things in perspective. This is when you want to think about it and say, come to think about it. You know, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. You know, love is giving. Love is being there for who you love. Love is not selfish. Love is maybe when maybe you're going through this, for you to actually find a place to tell yourself what are the values of love. And if someone loves you, how come it's ending in such a painful situation? So I think that will be for another day to look at it and wonder what kind of relationships are godly relationships that doesn't cause this kind of pain, that leaves you in a mental state where you're not okay, that leaves you heartbroken, that leaves you in pain, that leaves you not being able to wake up, keeps you depressed and held you bound, because that's a level of being bound. So that's you not having freedom anymore. Your mind is not free. You're not happy. You're not getting out of bed. You're not even grateful this morning. You're not even thinking about and saying, "Oh, thank God is morning again." You're not wishing that anymore. You're just crying and crying. So one of the ways, you know, to get out of this kind of thing is when you start thinking about forgiving. You know, because I wondered Was it so magical that Joseph could forgive his brothers for what they did to him right there? And sometimes when we read these Bible stories, we need to activate our picture mind. First of all, throwing him into a pit without water in the desert. Just leaving him there. One person say, let's kill him. And you're hearing your own brothers, your own siblings, the same father with you. You're hearing them bargaining on what to do to you. Should we kill him? Someone say, no, let's not have his blood in our hand. One say, let's sell him into slavery. And another one say, let's sell him and take money. And he was sold for some pieces of silver. And he was not deaf. He heard all of those things. But when the time was right, when God gave him his position, what did he do? What was the first thing that could have given him joy? Was to let his brothers know that I actually have forgiven you. Because in all of those years, I'm sure he just sat down and said, if I didn't come through this road, if my brothers didn't do this, and I did not end up in Pharaoh's hands and ended up being the governor of Egypt, how would my father and my siblings have fed in this famine season? So he went through all of that to also end up being a savior to his own family. He went through all the, was it only his family? It wasn't only his family. Just imagine he wasn't there. Just imagine he didn't have God with him in that prison cell throughout the journey. Who would have interpreted that dream? Who could have? All the people in the land couldn't. It's the boy that was in the prison that was able to interpret that dream. So not only did he save his family, he saved an entire an entire world, nation at that point in time, because the famine went around everywhere. So just because of that, he was able to, by God's grace, of course, God endowed him with that grace and wisdom. He was able to interpret the dream. And Pharaoh said, you know what, since it's you that God gave the ability to entertain it, he will give you how to go about this. He said, right now, I give over everything, the whole of Egypt. No one is higher than you except from me inside this palace. What a great honor. What a great honor. What a way for God to crown someone with grace and honor. And did he end up saving his family alone? No. The whole of Egypt and various places around. Canaanites came for the seed, for the grains everywhere. People were coming from far and wide just to get grains from Egypt because somebody let go, somebody forgave, somebody obeyed God. He was the one that was telling his siblings, he said, no, don't worry, don't cry. Don't cry. I think all what you did is for me to be here today. So don't cry. I forgive you people. In fact, I was so emotional. Like I said, we will know a story, we'll read the Bible, all those stories. But like I said, it will keep hitting differently. And for me, I think it hits differently because God knows that when I come here to share, the way I understand it, the way I perceive it, I will try to bring it to the now, how it makes sense to me, myself, that I'm saying. Because as I'm having this conversation, I'm also learning from it. I'm also engaging. I'm also thanking God and believing God for all the things that have happened around me. It will amaze you to know that really there's everything in the Bible where God will tell you that everything that happens to you is for good for those that he loves, for those who love him. That everything, he will turn everything around. So no matter what that situation is, it's about to be good, it's about to turn around for good. You're about to have some testimony from inside. So this is me talking to somebody that is feeling somebody has disappointed you, or somebody did not return money. Good, no problem. Now that we have handed the matter to God, let's see what's going to happen from there. What God is going to do as a result of that. Because you do not want to do what everybody would do. Oh, you want to go and drag the person, or you want to go to police. No, you're saying no. It doesn't make you foolish. But you'll be amazed the moment you let go, what God will do. How God will triple your sales. How God will bring somebody your way. That will be such an amazing influence to your business. Just because you were able to let go. And of course, learn the lesson, not let go and let it repeat itself. You learn and you let go and learn the lesson. So there's something there about unburdening that whole unforgiveness thing and carrying it and holding on to it. And there's also something about doing things when no one is watching. You know, when people think that they've gone scot-free with what they've done to you. I don't know why people think that. I know we're no longer in the era where God gets mad and someone just dies. We're no longer in the time of the Old Testament. But remember, we always say he's the God of yesterday, today, and forevermore. And he's a God that is not unjust. So he might not be taking it out or making things happen like he used to do in the olden days. But remember, he's a God that is just. What makes you think you ate someone's money, you're just going to go freely for it? You're just deceiving yourself and not looking at the price you have paid for the injustice that you have done to someone else. Because there's a price. You have paid it or you're even still paying it. So are you a joker? Because you think things are working around you. In fact, nothing even happens, really. Look well. Take a second look again. If you're watching and you're one of them, look again. Look one more time. Take an examine yourself one more time. Are you a joker? Examine yourself one more time. What did God say to Cain? He said that your brother's blood is crying for vengeance. Are you kidding me? How can you think you hurt someone, take advantage of someone, and you're deceiving yourself that you're prospering because seemingly in your eyes things are going the way you think they should go for you? Take a deeper look. Check very well. Look at doors that has closed against you. Know where your strugglings are coming from and ask yourself, why am I struggling in that area? So you're just underestimating what God can do, because he's a fair judge. No one cries and another one goes free. No, there's a balance. So we need to be careful at every point in time. So this is like a watchword, including me that I'm talking to. You have to just be telling yourself that this thing you want to do. You know, sometimes people think, oh, when you let things go, you're weak, you're this, you're that. You should be very, very mindful of the people that let things go, because they are heaping coal on you. So you better be very careful on what you're going to leave for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, for things that they don't know nothing about. So we need to be very careful. Hello, Mommy Grace. Happy Sunday. I've missed you. Welcome home from doing exploits. You know, this is the ginger we need to be following and making sure that we are repping the grace of God. You know, repping it and repping it well. I was telling someone that, you know, who you follow matters. I'm just going to give a small brief about Mommy Grace, just a small brief about, you know, how God can do it. And that's why we shouldn't get tired when we're doing things for God. Some months back, you know, someone would think she's what's in to do this woman? She had a program. It's usually what she does for her birthday. She'll do like a program of evangelism and all of that. And you know, I was counting how many billboards she erected in the whole of Lagos, Lekki, Axis, everything, like 18 of them. 18 of them, things that we do in the secret, and when God starts rewarding, everybody will be applauding the ones that eyes are seeing. Now the ones that eyes are not seeing, the ones that we do behind, that nobody is seeing, that nobody is clapping for, when the result of it starts coming, it's like those that dream dreams. Mommy Grace, we love you. God bless you. You've been such a blessing. You've been such a blessing. And I think that people should know people, follow people for the right reasons. Nobody's perfect, but I think you should just always take what is. Congratulations. From the Christ Talker community, we say well done. Mama, God bless you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for repping Christ in that magnitude. So we just know that we are behind, we are coming. God bless you. We love you so much. Thank you for all that you do. So, you know, talking about things being done behind and getting, you know, an open reward. You know, getting things done behind, but getting that reward wide open. Nobody saw what Joseph went through. Nobody saw all of that. But at the end of the day, he became the governor in Egypt, where the whole nation, where everybody knew who he was. He was a household name. Nations, people were coming from all walks just to come and meet him, because Pharaoh said, you'll be the greatest in the land except from in the palace. So everything, he'll refer everybody to Joseph. So there's something about, you know, doing things behind when no one is watching. So at the end of the day, remember again, behind the scenes, he had, you know, himself he retracted himself from Potiphar's wife, all the things that sent him to jail and all of that. But all the behind the scene is what got him the grace that he carried in that season. And God blessed him so much for it, and he became a household name. So, it's always better that we're in a place where we prepare ourselves. So when you are going through this thing that you're going through and you're lamenting so much, I think it's better you look at it as a place of preparation, a place where you are getting ready for what God has in store for you, a place where you're taking notes. I have young women that were going to be on the panel list next year, and they are going to be telling you real life stories, and they're going to be saying it so passionately because they have been through it. It's their truth, so you can't take it from them. So when they are telling you, they're not telling you to take it, or if it's good for you and you are opportune to have met them and it's good for you and you think that this is something that can benefit you, oh, why not? But else they are telling you their truth as it is. So that experience that's seemingly bad is going to give you a platform. Joseph had a lot of bad experiences. We already know that. He was thrown into his pit by the brother. He found himself in Potiphar's house. The wife tried to lure him. He said no. He found himself in jail. All of those processes made him the governor of Egypt. And all of this we can find in the book of Genesis. So we're going to put some scriptures if you like to go through this story and you like to go through it on your own and make it relatable to you, so that you can beat yourself up less and know that whatever it is you're going through, God is not punishing you. Because I felt it so strongly today, that there's someone out there just seriously battering in anger and anguish and saying that where is God in all of this. So another thing is, another area when you get to this point where you're going through to begin to be in a place where eyes are going to be seeing, you find out that whatever it is that you have gone through is not only for you. It will serve the purpose. It will serve people coming back to it. It will serve people saying, I heard Joanne's story. Now the one way do me was pass. I hate this story. This one, but thank God for today. At least I now know that it's not all in the packaging. I just need to have principles in my business, and no matter who you are, I want to stand by it, except you have credibility. But just know that other thing that you're going through will serve everybody later. You'll be able to talk about it because that expertise is yours. You're the one that has that history. You're the one that has gone through that thing. You're the one that knows it for what it is. So when you're saying it, you're going to be saying it with a lot of conviction. So please don't give up on yourself. This is not the time you want to batter yourself. You want to put a lot of anguish on yourself. You want to go through depression. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. But this is actually when you want to find time, find that place in destiny, find that time to tell yourself, so, okay, if what this woman is saying is true, this thing that I'm going through, if you can, write it down. If you think you're going to forget, write it down. If you're the type that needs to do recording of your voice, write it down. Find a scripture. So yesterday was second quarter celebrants at the community, Christ Soccer community. We did our second quarter celebration. So we all went out to the movies. It was such a pleasant experience. We watched a movie called Sweet Inspirations. It's a movie that we should watch, even as individuals. It's a movie that we should watch. And if you have a small community, a group of people that you pray together, study together, hold hands together, those are the kind of movies you want to watch. Something that will inspire you guys to do more together. It was really a movie that enriched my community yesterday. So while we were watching the movie, at some point everybody busted out, clapping. There was a lot of going on and everything. So if you are someone who is actually leading, maybe you're leading a small community, or you're finding yourself in a place where you're talking to people regularly, or maybe you're being called to talk to people regularly, maybe a group of people, that's the kind of movie you want to be watching. It's called Sweet Inspiration. So you want to be able to take away lessons from it. Talking about Joseph and what he stands for, what his life lessons we're still talking about it now because it's teaching someone. It's not just him. It's not about just him. The story was nice. The story was centered on him, but his life, the purpose of his life wasn't just centered about him. That's why we're able to talk about it today. So that's why when we are going through, there's something you have gone through that will benefit others. I'll be talking about how I feel like betrayal and disappointments got me to where I am today. I'll be talking about that on Thursday, this week Thursday, on Mommy Chioma Ebezim's page, where we talk about real God, real people. That will be happening on Thursday. And if you want to be a part of my journey, you want to be on that live, it's happening at 9 a.m. on Thursday on Pastor Chioma Ebezim's p.m., 9 p.m., not a.m. A.m. is morning, 9 p.m. on Thursday. If you want to be a part of that story of how absolute betrayal, real life betrayal, disappointments, anything you want to call it, any angle that it falls in, how it got me here for real, how constant disappointment, one level after the other. In fact, I don't think there's any level that I haven't experienced, because when someone tells you on social media that I was a crybaby, I cried for everything. The disappointment was at every level, friendship, family, in-law, everywhere. But today I can tell you for free that I love everybody. I've been able to cut myself free because that journey has gotten me here. I will even ask, if someone asks me, will you change anything? If I change anything, will I be here? If I want to change things that happened in my life that got me here, will I be here? Maybe if I didn't go through that, who knows? Maybe I would have just died one old woman like that when the time comes. Because I'm not, I mean, when did I find the grace to be able to stay over, on a screen and I'm talking? When did that happen? So if all of that didn't happen and I didn't keep hearing from mentors and listening to people, I won't be here. So even whatever the worst case scenario may be, maybe yours might not be betrayal, maybe your own might be something else. It might just be one bad relationship into another bad relationship into another bad relationship. And you might just find that I've gotten to a point where this thing wants to just kill the enemy that is not me. And there will just be a turning point when you decide to say, what is God's standard when it comes to relationship? And take that turning point. Then things will change. Then you now have a story to tell. Then you'll now be able to tell someone, don't go through this journey. There's no point. This is the way to go. Maybe your story might not even be that you're having betrayals. Maybe your story is that you're having it all good. Your experiences have been good. Maybe your story is not pit to purpose, or your story is not pain to purpose. Or maybe your story is purpose to grace, or who knows, something better. And somebody else will say, oh, thank God, though, it's not only me. This one, everybody's crying pain to purpose, one thing or the other. Joseph's story and pain everywhere. Maybe my own self, thank God. But like I said when I started, I said, even with what I have been through, I feel like hearing other people's testimony makes me baby girl for Jesus. God was so mindful of me. So who am I not to talk now, to tell someone, God is mindful of you? If you hear other people's story, worse. If you hear how many other people's story, you'll be amazed. So definitely for free, your case is not the worst. Maybe mine got me to talk on the screen. Good for me now. Maybe your own is not that, but you're still not the. It's not. You're not. Your situation is not the worst. It's not. It's not. So you begin to, when you hear other people, you begin to appreciate how much God loves you. You begin to appreciate how mindful God is of you and your family. When you hear people's sad story, when you hear people tell you things, what they have been through for real, especially the emotional traumas, what people can say to you, your mind, how people mess with your mind, how you're not able to break free, even as an adult, trauma is still popping up. You're still acting out what happened to you in your childhood. And some of us don't have that story. What could be worse than somebody being molested as a child and scarred for life? There are worse stories. So what you need to do is bank your experiences. Bank your experiences by writing. Bank your experiences by doing voice note. Bank your experiences. So when the time is right, when God wants to make someone's life a bit easier through your experience, you'll be able to say it and not feel ashamed. Like I won't say anything over my experience and make anybody who is listening to it say, oh, Is it us she's talking about? No, I will not even change anything. I will not even change anything. All those experiences made me stronger. Those experiences made me who I am today. Those experiences made me better for it. Those experiences made me smarter. Instead of crying, they made me smarter. Some people have natural wisdom. Everybody won't come up with the same thing now. Some people are gifted that way. But all of us don't have the same old age gifts. So some of us went through life stage by stage. So it's not for everybody. So if you happen to be one of those that are smart like that, you're intuitive like that, you're this like that, good for you. But we need places like this where people can, who have fallen short, can also say, no be only me, at least this woman talk through, say she self, my cry, she they cry. At least now I don't see person where they cry and know how the person takes stop to cry. So maybe I will try to stop to cry by finding myself where God is, by finding the scripture to stand on, by changing things, by feeling different about myself instead of just staying and crying. So it works that way as well. So the story of Joseph is quite interesting at this point in time in this day and age. This is the time we really need to talk about the story of Joseph for people to feel like you have not gone through anything yet. It could be worse. But yet, look at where it's going to end. It's going to end in praise. It's going to end in God crowning all your effort with great success. Success that you will be proud of. You won't even believe it's you. You'll be saying, is this me? Ha! Wow, I'm actually doing this. So God has a purpose for everyone. God has a reason for everyone to go through what they are going through. So please, if you come through this video and it's you that God woke me up this afternoon to talk about the story of Joseph and how it applies to the now, please don't beat yourself up. Don't try to take your life. That's the most cowardice thing you can do. That situation that has depressed you so much, that has ended up making you feel so low that you're thinking about suicide, you're thinking about just getting yourself out of here. I promise you, find a way to tell that story, find a way to share that testimony. You'll be amazed where you find yourself. He found himself in the palace and became the governor of Egypt at a time where every nation had to come to him and bow. His brothers had to bow. The same reason why they threw him into the pit and said, so who is going to bow to you? They bowed. They bowed. They volunteered themselves as slaves. They said, take me, master. He cried. He turned his face and cried. He couldn't. He knew they were his brothers. So it's important that, we look at things and not just give up on ourselves, as difficult as they may be. Like I always say, your case is not the worst. If you want to find out, listen, follow people who have stories, inspirational stories to tell. Don't waste your time so much. You can watch skits like I do and laugh, but don't waste your time there so much. Find people who are actually making sense, whom when you listen to, something inside of you ignites. People that when they say things, if you're having relationship issues, follow people who have inspirational things to say when it comes to, relationships. Follow people who have things to say when it comes to spiritual lifting. Follow people who have things to say when it comes to maybe even just motivating you, maybe just helping you. There are so many people out there than just stay and feel downcasted and feel like, oh, that's not the end. The end always ends in a crown, like Joseph. God will tailor it and it will end in praise. It will end in a place where nations will come and bow to your feet. So if you're listening to this video and it's an after listen, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Movie Chioma Ebezem, Pastor Chioma Ebezem's handle on Thursday, 9 p.m. We are going to be saying real life, real story, real people. And it's going to be an amazing time. So join me there on Thursday, 9 p.m. I'll be waiting to share some of my insights, some of the stories on how I got here. And, God is still taking me somewhere. So we're still on that journey. But nevertheless, I was able to get to where I am today. So all of those experiences and all of the things that you're going through, all of the challenges that, the country, the state of our country, mind, relationship, whatever it is, even if I haven't mentioned it, it's just a means to an end. So it's not the worst and it will never be. And also remember that even in this season, God is actually with you. So thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who came out yesterday. We had some people who just came from hearing online. Thank you. I saw a lot of students, and of course, watching movies these days is not that cheap anymore. So I was happy I was able to do that for them as well. Thank you so much. The community was so happy to have you all. We're happy to host you all. It was a pleasant time. God bless you. Thank you so much. And do have a splendid week. And please, in this week, if there be anything that you are thinking that's bringing you to a place of depression, just know that it's just a means to an end. And remember to find that scripture, that word for that situation where you find yourself. And please do us well to inbox us if you happen to need counseling, you want to need someone to talk to. We have people we can direct you to talk to if it's something that we can handle. We also have counselors, in the Christ Walker community. So we hope and pray that you stay well till we see you next Sunday.